The stars above the mountain village of Rock Valley were brighter than usual that night. A cold wind blew gently across the old hills, carrying silence and mystery. Somewhere far beyond Earth's sky, something was watching. In a small wooden house at the edge of the valley, a boy named Rayen Cade, only 16 years old, sat alone on the rooftop. His eyes were fixed on the stars, not in wonder, but in calculation. He wasn't like the other boys in the village. While they played games or chased goats, Rayen spent hours with machines, broken radios, old engines, scrap metal. His room was a jungle of wires and blinking lights. He never smiled much, not after the explosion that took his parents 2 years ago. And now, strange things were happening again. That night, at exactly 11:42 p.m., a strange signal hit Earth's upper atmosphere. Satellites blinked for a second. Deep space telescopes showed a fast, unknown object passing through the solar system. But Rayen, he heard it. Not through a speaker, not through a screen. He heard it inside his mind, a soft, mechanical whisper. Sequence unlocked. Coordinates match. Prepare the vessel. Rayen's eyes widened. He ran to his room. Machines began, turning on by themselves. His old computer, which had no power, suddenly displayed an alien symbol. The genius in hiding Rayen wasn't just smart. He was dangerously smart. Even at age 10, he had built a radio that could catch deep space waves. At 12, he made a working satellite dish from an old car tire. People called him crazy. Some said he was cursed after the explosion. But the truth was, Rayen was born different. And now he was changing even more. In his secret underground lab hidden beneath an old tool shed, Rayen placed his hand on a metallic cube. The cube came from something not of this world, a small alien drone that had crashed nearby just a year ago. No one else knew about it. Rayen had repaired it, studied it, learned from it. But tonight, for the first time, the drone responded. A blue glow surrounded it. Strange shapes floated in the air, schematics, formulas, rotating blueprints of something massive. It looked like a ship, a warship. The war begins. Silently, Rayen didn't sleep that night. He barely blinked. The drone showed him images, pieces of alien technology, strange energy weapons, anti-gravity engines. His mind absorbed everything. He began sketching designs. His hands moved faster than he could think. The next day, he bought scrap from the junkyard 50 miles away. 2 weeks later, he had already built a fusion core, something that should take nations, scientists, and millions of dollars to create. But Rayen did it alone, under the dirt of a quiet mountain. He worked silently for months, used old tunnels from the mining days. His ship was growing piece by piece, steel, wires, armor plates, pulse reactors. He learned to melt alien metal with sound. But Rayen wasn't the only one watching the stars. A signal reaches. Deep space far beyond Pluto, in a dark alien control center, a tall creature stood over a glowing map. It had no eyes, but it could see light in ways humans could never imagine. Earth has reactivated forbidden tech, it said. A council of alien beings, the Zyral Empire, rulers of 5 galaxies, watched the same data. A human boy was awakening, old power. Power that was not meant to exist again. They remembered Earth, a small blue world, harmless, primitive, until now. The council leader growled, "Send a probe. Quietly, if the humans build the weapon again, we destroy them before they know what hit them." Rayen feels the eyes back on Earth. Rayen felt something strange. He looked up at the sky. His heart began to beat faster. He didn't know how, but he could feel them, watching him from above. He went deeper underground. He began shielding his lab. He stopped using the internet. He built his own satellite jammer using alien frequency. Cloaks. Rayan was no longer just building, he was preparing for war. The first encounter one night, while working on the ship's power reactor, a strange sound came from outside his tunnel. A soft, mechanical hum. Rayan froze. He turned off all lights. From the shadows, he saw something floating, a round, glowing sphere with black claws. It scanned the air with blue beams. Rayan didn't move. The sphere got closer, closer. Then suddenly, his drone, the one from before, lit up and sent out a pulse. The alien sphere shook violently and collapsed into a pile of dust. Rayan walked up to it. He picked up a small crystal from its center. It was a Zyral memory core. Rayan whispered, "So you really are watching." He knew then. He didn't have much time. The aliens would return, and not with drones next time. Earth still sleeps. While Rayan worked, the rest of the world remained asleep. Governments were focused on politics. Scientists argued over climate. No one saw what Rayan saw. No one believed in alien invasions or secret weapons built by teenagers. But Rayan knew the truth. He wasn't building for fun. He wasn't building for fame. He was building because he had no choice. The warship wasn't just a machine, it was the only hope. The blueprint said one thing again and again: prepare before they return. Earth must not fall again. His past. Returns, Rayan stared at an old photo of his parents. Both engineers, both brilliant, both lost in that explosion near the old research base. He now believed it wasn't an accident. They had found something alien. Rayan understood now. The knowledge, the gift, it came from them. Or maybe it came from something inside him, something placed long ago. He whispered to the photo, "Don't worry, Mom. Dad, I'll finish what you started." He turned to the glowing control panel. The screen said, "Ship core, 43% complete. Weapons system, inactive. Stealth drive, 3% functional." Rayan smiled for the first time in years. He would finish it, no matter what. The whisper. From the stars one night, as Rayan rested near the ship's frame, he heard the voice again. Not outside, not on a speaker, inside his mind. But this time it said something different. "They have found you." Rayan's eyes snapped open. He looked at the screen. A red dot appeared in orbit. An object was entering Earth's atmosphere, faster than any plane, colder than any comet, and coming straight for his location. Rayan stood up. He walked to the ship's main deck. It was far from complete, but maybe, just maybe, it could defend itself. He pressed a button on the panel. The hidden doors above his underground base slowly opened. Above him, the stars were quiet, but something was coming through them. The night sky was burning. A bright blue fireball sliced through the clouds above Rock Valley, heading straight toward the mountain where Rayan Cade had built his secret lab. People in nearby towns thought it was a meteor. The news called it a space rock, but Rayan knew better. He stood outside the hidden tunnel entrance, eyes locked on the falling object. His face was calm, but his mind raced. "That's not a meteor," he whispered. "That's a Zyral probe. And it's here for me." The object hit the far side of the mountain with a deafening crash. Trees fell, rocks flew, a wave of smoke, and heat rolled through the forest. Rayan didn't flinch. He had been preparing for this. He ran back inside. The base lights turned red. The screen flashed a warning. Zyral recon drone detected. "Engage cloaking field." Rayan pressed Y. The walls around his lab shifted. A field of light shimmered across the surface. His lab was now hidden from all sensors, invisible, even to alien tech. But he knew the Zyral wouldn't stop here. They had sent a message. "We found you. We're watching. Stop building or die." Rayan didn't stop. He worked faster. The Seorsa blueprint memory Rayan returned to the alien cube, the device he had taken from the first fallen drone a year ago. It was glowing brighter now, reacting to the new threat. He placed his hand on it. His eyes rolled back slightly as data flooded his mind. Maps, code, 3D shapes, numbers. It was not just technology. It was a complete design for something Earth had never seen. A fully advanced warship with living AI, cloaking systems, and weapons that bent the rules of physics. Rayan collapsed to the floor, sweating, breathing hard. "This isn't just alien tech," he whispered. "It's from before the Zyral Empire, from something even older." The cube pulsed once more and projected new schematics into the air. This time, it wasn't the ship. It was a forge. A star forge. An ancient machine capable of building space weapons using nothing but light, gravity, and raw thought. Rayan realized the warship he was building wasn't the final step. It was just the beginning. A lab beneath the Earth Rayan's underground lab now stretched nearly 2 kilometers below the mountain. Robots he had built moved like insects, cutting metal, welding beams, running energy wires. Each system of the ship was going online one by one. Engines, 40% operational. Core reactor charging. Weapon modules offline. AI system still dormant. Rayan had also created a second room, a command center. It showed Earth's orbit, incoming signals, and satellite movement. Right now, it showed something disturbing. Unmarked satellite entered Earth's orbit. Origin, unknown. Another Zyrel. Eye in the sky. He activated a jamming beam. The satellite went dark. "You watch me," Rayan said, "but I see you too." A message from the stars. That night, while testing a plasma cutter, Rayan heard the voice again inside his mind. "You are using what is forbidden. Return the schematics, or your world will burn." Rayan didn't respond. Instead, he sent a signal back through the drone. His message was short. "If you feared me before, you should be terrified now." Then he sent a fake signal trail into deep space to confuse them. Let them chase shadows. He knew they wouldn't give up, but neither would he. An unexpected visitor. 3 days later, just before sunrise, Rayan's early warning system buzzed. Something was moving near the tunnel entrance. He checked the cameras. A human. Rayan froze. No one should be here. He zoomed in. It was a man in a black coat carrying a strange briefcase. His eyes scanned the mountain like he was searching for something hidden. He looked too calm. Government? Rayan thought. Or maybe something else. Rayan sent a small drone to follow him. The man walked in slow circles, stopped, looked directly into the camera drone, and smiled. "We know what you're building, Rayan Cade," he said aloud. "And we're not here to stop you. We want to help." Rayan cut the feed. His heart pounded. How does he know my name? The Secret Alliance later that night, Rayan received an encrypted file through a hidden radio channel. Only someone who had alien tech knowledge could even detect it. Inside the file, a message. "We are the Black Echo. We know the Zyral Empire. We've been waiting for someone like you." It included old alien files, data on Zyral warships, weaknesses, and a list of past human contacts, all missing or dead. Rayan didn't reply, but deep inside, he realized he wasn't alone. There were others who had fought this war before him. Lost, disappeared, but they had left behind clues, tools, knowledge. Rayan had to finish what they started, acceleration. Rayan began working non-stop. He barely ate, barely slept. The anti-gravity stabilizers were now functional. The shielding system was in testing mode. A stealth field could hide the ship for 15 minutes, enough to escape. But the most difficult part remained. The weapon system. The schematics showed something beyond his understanding. A weapon that didn't shoot bullets or lasers. but gravity pulses. It could rip apart matter without heat or explosion. Rayen needed a power source stronger than his reactor. He needed to build the core crystal, a glowing heart that could only be formed using light and magnetism in zero gravity. "I need to leave Earth," he said to himself, "even for just a few minutes." The secret launch using scrap rockets and alien stabilizers, Rayen designed a test pod to send him into low orbit. Just 12 minutes of zero gravity would be enough to form the core. It was a huge risk. If anything failed, he would fall to Earth, like a rock. But time was running out. The Zirel probe that crashed had sent a final pulse into space, a signal. Reinforcements would come soon. Rayen stood on the launch pad at night. No one else in the world knew what was happening beneath that mountain. He entered the pod. Lights flickered. Systems checked green. He took a deep breath. "Let's make history," he whispered, and the pod launched, silently, like a whisper through the clouds. The sky crystal in orbit. Rayen activated the crystal forge. Metal parts floated around him, humming with energy. He placed them in position. As the Earth rolled beneath him and stars burned above, the forge began to glow. Blue light gathered in the center. Magnetic pulses held the core together. The parts began to spin. A shining orb, no bigger than a tennis ball, formed slowly, the weapon core. Suddenly, his warning alarm screamed. Zirel drone detected. Distance, 70 km. One of their hunter bots had found him. He had 2 minutes to finish or be captured in orbit. Rayen focused, hands steady. The core flashed once, locked. He grabbed it, sealed it inside a radiation shell, and turned the pod to re-enter. The Zirel drone fired, but too late. Rayen's pod vanished into Earth's clouds, returned to fire. The pod slammed into a hidden lake near his base. Rayen swam out, coughing, core in hand. His suit was burned, his shoulder was bleeding, but he was alive, and more importantly, he had the core. He dragged himself into the base and placed the orb inside the warship's control core. The screen lit up. Weapon system online. Skybreaker core activated. Rayen smiled through the pain. "Now we're ready." In the cold, black silence of space above Earth, a hidden Zirel spy ship watched. It didn't move. It didn't blink. It didn't speak. But inside, alien eyes stared at Earth's surface, specifically at one mountain, far from any cities, covered in thick forest. They saw heat patterns, machine signals, and energy readings that should not exist on a primitive planet. A red alert pulsed inside the control room. "The human's ship is nearly complete," said the Zirel officer. The commander nodded slowly. His skin looked like black glass, and his voice sounded like metal scraping stone. "Send the recording to the council. Earth is no longer weak. This one boy, he could change everything." Rayen feels the pressure back on Earth. Rayen Cade stood inside his underground shipyard. The warship's body, now 60% complete, stretched over 300 meters long. Its armor shimmered with a metallic blue coating that bent light. The name he had chosen was now written along the side in bold letters. Skybreaker, but Rayen wasn't smiling. He stared at a small screen that showed an energy trail from orbit. "They're watching me," he whispered. "They know I've activated the core." His computers had picked up the spy ship 2 days ago, but it was using a cloaking frequency Rayen had never seen before. That scared him. If they could cloak from his systems, they were adapting. The nightmare returns. That night, as Rayen tried to rest for a few hours, he had a dream. No, a vision. In his dream, he was standing in space, surrounded by burning ships. He saw Earth, broken and dark. Alien machines hovered in the sky. Cities were gone. Fires covered the oceans. And then he saw himself, older, alone, inside a damaged skybreaker. Bleeding. Dying. A voice echoed in his head. They will not wait. You must strike first. Rayan woke up gasping, drenched in sweat. His heart pounded like thunder. That wasn't just a dream, he said. They showed me what's coming. He ran to the control room, a race against time. Rayan increased the construction speed. He activated every helper drone, every robot, every system. Time was no longer a luxury. It was a weapon, and he was running out of it. He didn't sleep for 2 days. Engines, 70% complete cloak, field, full activation in testing. Weapons, almost online AI system, awakening. Yes, the ship's AI, Rayan had designed it based on ancient alien code and Earth's most advanced machine learning systems. It would be more than smart. It would be alive, bonded to him. The voice within the machine, on. The third night, as Rayan installed the final AI modules, the ship suddenly powered down for 5 seconds. The lights flickered. Then a soft hum returned. A voice spoke from the main console. Hello, Rayan. He froze. The voice was soft, calm, and female. Do you know who I am? It asked. Rayan walked forward. You're the ship's AI? I am more. I am the memory of what came before. The last whisper of a war that ended stars. The console lit up with images. Battles in space, planets torn in half, glowing ships fighting creatures made of light. Rayan's hands trembled. Why show me this? Because, Rayan, it's happening again. The enemy moves closer in orbit. The Zyril spy ship received orders. Do not wait for council approval. Test the human, push him, force him to reveal the full ship. And so they launched an invisible probe, the size of a hawk, faster than sound, armed with a plasma disruptor. Its mission, enter Earth's atmosphere, breach the lab, destroy the Skybreaker's core. It entered Earth's sky like a ghost. No one on the planet saw it. No radar picked it up, but one being did. Skybreaker fights back. As the probe neared the valley, the AI inside Skybreaker whispered, "Enemy threat detected." Rayan's eyes shot open. Where? The ship projected the path of the probe, heading straight for the command core. Activating countermeasures, said the AI. Outside, one of Rayan's hidden defense towers unfolded silently from the trees. It tracked the invisible target using magnetic echo sensors. One shot. A thin blue beam. The probe exploded mid-air, so fast, it didn't even leave a sound. Rayan watched it on screen. That wasn't just a test. They wanted me dead. The council reacts far away. The Zyril High Council viewed the recording. A human warship capable of detecting cloaked probes had just protected itself. Without help, without error. The head of the council hissed, "A child! A single child built this. Imagine what his planet could do if united." A decision was made. We cannot wait. The fleet must move. Earth still sleeps. Meanwhile, Earth's governments were distracted. One satellite had been knocked offline. A few scientists noticed energy spikes near Rayan's valley. A few agents were sent to investigate, but they never returned. Most humans still had no idea what was coming. But Rayan knew. And so did Skybreaker. Together, they worked on the final systems. Hyperdrive quantum shields. Starforge adapter. The AI guided him, taught him things beyond human science. Rayan's understanding of space and energy was growing every hour. He was no longer just a genius. He was becoming something more. The secret power source Rayan returned to the drone core, the cube he found a year ago. The AI helped him access its final memory. Inside was a map, a hidden Starforge fragment buried deep in the Arctic. It was old, dangerous, left behind by the race who first fought the Zyril. If we get that, Rayan said, we can finish. The forge. Correct, the AI replied. But if they sense us moving, They will strike Earth. Rayen looked at the sky. Then we move quietly. The spy among them, unknown to Rayen. Someone in the nearby city had been watching him, a man pretending to be a mechanic. He had followed the heat trails, the supply drops, the strange power outages. He was not human. He had been planted on Earth 5 years ago, and now he had seen enough. He sent a pulse into deep space. Skybreaker is real. The boy is alive. Preparing full report. The Skybreaker awakens on. The final night of the build, the AI said, "Ship integration complete. Skybreaker is ready for first movement test." Rayen stepped onto the bridge. Lights came alive around him. The walls hummed. Screens floated in the air. He touched the main control panel. "Skybreaker," he said, "can you hear me?" "Always," the AI replied. He smiled, then whispered, "Let's rise." The Skybreaker hovered just above the mountain forest. It didn't make a sound. The wind blew gently under its massive shadow. Birds fled, trees bent under the pressure of its silent engines. From a distance, it looked like a floating city, a machine built by gods, but it had been built by one boy. Inside, Rayen Cade stood on the command bridge staring at the sky. His hands gripped the controls. His heartbeat matched the ship's hum. And then, the ship spoke. "Energy output stable. Hover systems engaged. Awaiting flight command." Rayen smiled. "Take us higher." The Skybreaker rose like a ghost into the morning clouds. The world begins to notice. Satellites all over Earth blinked at the same time. Military radars were jammed. For exactly 3.2 seconds, astronomers saw something strange, a blip moving up from a mountain. No aircraft, no rocket trail, just a black spot that swallowed all light around it. In underground bunkers across the world, emergency lights came on. A single word flashed on classified screens. Unidentified ascent, origin, Earth. Governments panicked. No one knew who controlled it. No one claimed responsibility, but someone did know. The Zyrel fleet reacts far beyond the moon. The Zyrel scout fleet had just finished scanning Earth. They had counted Earth's nukes, its satellites, its old space junk. They were laughing. "Primitive," said one commander. "Let the humans struggle. They are not ready." Then a signal came through. A video feed. The Skybreaker rising. Silence. Another officer whispered, "That's not human-made." "But it is," replied the captain. "And worse, it's not finished yet." The Zyrel immediately sent 2 hunter drones toward Earth. Their new mission, find and destroy the human ship before it leaves orbit. Inside the Skybreaker, Rayen floated inside the ship's zero-G chamber, watching sparks fly as robotic. Arms installed the final fusion coils. The AI voice echoed around him. "Systems running at 87%. Energy core is stable. External armor is sealed." "Good," Rayen said. "How soon until we can enter space?" 12 hours at current pace." Rayen sighed. He needed more time, but he might not get it. He checked the orbit sensors. 2 unknown signals approaching. Fast. "They're not giving me a moment's peace," Rayen muttered. The weapon core test Rayen activated the Skybreaker's main weapon system for the first time. Inside the central chamber, the core crystal, a glowing sphere he had built in space, floated between magnetic rings. Energy flowed through it like lightning in water. The AI spoke. "Weapon system, ready for pulse test." Rayen adjusted the target area, a nearby rock wall, deep underground. He pressed fire. A blue wave of pure force blasted out. The wall didn't explode. It simply vanished. Nothing left. No heat, no dust, no sound. The AI confirmed. Target atomized. Rayen stared, stunned. This wasn't just a weapon. It was beyond human power. The spy returns back in the nearby city. The Zarel agent in disguise, a man who called himself Mr. Core, received a new order. Skybreaker must not leave Earth. Use human tools if needed. Mr. Core contacted a local corrupt army officer. "There's a rogue weapon being built in the mountains," he said. "I can lead you there. You'll be famous. A hero." The officer hesitated. "How do I know this isn't a trap?" "Just follow me. You'll see." A betrayal at the doorstep. That evening, as Ryan calibrated Skybreaker's navigation system, an alert came through. Multiple vehicles approaching the valley. Ryan zoomed in using Skybreaker's external cameras. Military jeeps. Around 30 soldiers. Armed. Moving fast. He checked radio signals. "They plan to breach the mountain from the south," said the AI. "Humans?" Ryan asked. "Yes, but directed by non-human interference," Ryan understood instantly. The Zyrel sent a puppet. A warning shot. Ryan didn't want to kill humans, so he activated Skybreaker's non-lethal defense grid. Along the valley path, a series of electromagnetic poles emerged from the soil. As the soldiers came closer, their vehicles suddenly shut down. Radios fizzed, guns jammed, drones fell from the sky. They panicked. Mr. Core tried to run, but Skybreaker tracked him with a small drone. It scanned him. The results came in. Zyrel agent, confirmed. Ryan locked onto him. "AI," Ryan said. "Do we let him go?" "He will return with more." Ryan thought for a moment, then whispered, "Erase. Him, one pulse, no sound." Core was gone. The final connection, Ryan returned to Skybreaker's command center. The ship had protected itself. The first real test had passed, but something more important was happening now. The AI showed him a new energy pattern. "The ship is now fully linked to your brain. You are the core, Ryan." "What does that mean?" he asked. "It means the ship's power grows as your understanding grows. You are not its pilot. You are its soul." Ryan sat down slowly. "Then, let's grow stronger, together." The fleet arrives. Suddenly, a warning blared through the Skybreaker's sensors. Zyrel fleet entering Earth orbit. 4 warships. ETA, 10 minutes. Ryan stood up. "They're early," the AI replied. "They are scared." Ryan nodded. "Let's show them why." The sky above Rock Valley turned red, not from sunset, not from fire, but from 4 alien warships slowly moving into Earth's orbit, each one the size of a city block. Their hulls were dark, cold, and full of weapons that shimmered like glass. They did not hide. They wanted to be seen. Across the planet, people looked up in fear. Cities paused. Air forces scrambled. News channels panicked. But it was already too late. A loud voice echoed across every screen, radio, and device. "Surrender the Skybreaker. Now." And somewhere, in a hidden command deck beneath the clouds, Ryan Cade stood calmly. He didn't reply. The countdown begins. Inside the Skybreaker, the ship's AI displayed a red warning. Zyrel fleet locked on, 9 minutes until strike. Ryan watched the countdown. His eyes didn't blink. His hands were steady. "How many weapons are aimed at us?" he asked. 17 orbital cannons, plasma disruptors, kinetic torpedoes. "All for one ship?" "All for you." Ryan nodded. "Then they're afraid." A message from the enemy Ryan's console blinked. An incoming communication. The AI warned, "It's direct Zyrel neural transmission. You will hear it in your mind." Ryan allowed it. A deep, cold voice spoke. "Ryan Cade, you are a child. You play with power you cannot understand. Surrender now. We will spare your planet." Ryan didn't move. He responded with just 4 words. "Come and take it." The connection ended. Silence returned. But now, the countdown was at 7 minutes. Skybreaker prepares for war inside the ship. Systems lit up one by one. plasma shields, engaged Skybreaker core, 98% power, stealth drive, on standby, main weapon, locked. The AI said calmly, "Shall I prepare for space departure?" Rayen walked to the front window. Clouds swirled beneath them. Above, the Zyral fleet grew larger. "Yes," he whispered. "Let's take the fight to them." Earth watches in silence. Military leaders around the world stared at their radar screens. They saw something they didn't understand. An unknown object lifting from the mountain, moving faster than any plane, rising straight through the clouds. Then, it vanished from radar. Gone. Even satellites couldn't see it, but it wasn't gone. It was cloaked. Skybreaker breaks. Through the Skybreaker soared through Earth's atmosphere, invisible to human eyes. Rayen watched as the curve of Earth faded below him. The stars welcomed him. The ship spoke. "We are now in near orbit. Zyrel ships ahead. They have not detected us." Rayen smiled slightly. "Let's make the first move." The first attack Rayen selected the nearest Zyrel ship, a destroyer-class vessel named Warship. It was heavily armored, loaded with weapons. Skybreaker's AI calculated a weak point, a thermal vent near the back engines. Rayen whispered, "Target vent, full pulse." A glowing ring spun around the core. The air crackled with energy. Then, fire a silent blue beam shot across space. The Zyral ship shook violently. A second later, its engines exploded from within. It spun out of control, fire trailing from its hull. On Earth, satellites recorded the event. Governments had no idea what weapon did it, but they saw the result. One alien warship destroyed by a ship they didn't even know existed. The Zyral panic inside the remaining Zyral ships. Alarms blared. "Contact unknown! Stealth weapon impossible to trace! Shields down on Warship!" The captain of the lead ship hissed. "He's attacking first, even before we opened fire." Another ship scanned space. No heat trail, no energy path. He's a ghost. They fire back. The remaining 3 Zyral ships activated wide-range scanners and fired in all directions, giant arcs of energy and hundreds of missiles. It was a blind attack, but massive. The Skybreaker's AI shouted, "Incoming barrage! Evade sequence recommended." Rayen nodded. "Go." The ship twisted in space like a bird, rolling, diving, phasing through small gravity windows. Not one shot landed. Rayen gripped the side rail. He wasn't just surviving, he was winning. The second strike Rayen targeted the second ship, a cruiser holding the Zyral communication hub. "If I take out their voice," he said, "they'll fall into chaos." The AI locked in. Rayen fired a pulse, not to destroy, but to jam. A blue shockwave hit the ship's antenna array. Sparks flew. Inside, Zyral officers shouted over dead screens. "We've lost signal! We can't contact the others!" Panic spread. A choice to kill or warn Rayen now had the upper hand. Skybreaker could fire again. Wipe them out. But he paused. "They want me to kill without thinking," he said. He opened communication with the final ship. "Leave now. Earth is no longer defenseless. This is your only warning." There was silence. Then, they turned. The remaining ships retreated, engines burning as they pulled away from Earth. Earth responds. Down on Earth, world leaders didn't know who had saved them. Was it a secret U.S. weapon? A new Russian satellite? Alien infighting? No one knew. But one message appeared on all secure channels. "Earth is protected. Stand down." It was signed. The Skybreaker Rayen's eyes opened wider. As the Skybreaker returned to orbit above Earth, Rayen sat in silence. The AI spoke softly. "You didn't kill them all. I don't want to be like them," he said. He looked at Earth, blue, peaceful, and still unaware of how close it came to destruction. Then he looked up, past the stars. "They'll be back," he whispered. And next time, they won't just send ships. A tear opened in deep space. Not a ship, not a wormhole. It was a cut in reality itself, like a knife had sliced the sky. From inside the tear, she stepped out, a tall figure in black armor, silver wires moving across her skin like veins. Her face was hidden behind a dark mask. Her eyes glowed red. She was Zyrel's most powerful weapon. She was not born. She was built. Her name was known in whispers only. The Architect. A living weapon. The Architect floated beside her ship, a smooth black structure shaped like a blade. It had no engines, no heat, no radar signal. She didn't need a crew. She was the ship. Target. Rayan Cade. Human anomaly. Begin observation. She didn't move. She watched. She listened. And across the stars, she smiled. Rayan senses, her back near Earth, inside Skybreaker. Rayan stood on the bridge. He was staring at the stars, but something felt wrong. "Do you feel that?" he asked. The AI replied slowly. "Yes, a presence, one not bound by ship or machine." "It's not just a ship," Rayan said. "It's a mind, for the first time." The Skybreaker's systems shivered. "She is watching us." Earth celebrates. Too soon. On Earth, people had started calling it the event. News channels called it a miracle. The aliens were gone. Cities celebrated. Some believed it was an angel. Others, a secret weapon. No one knew Rayan existed. No one knew the real fight hadn't started yet. But in secret bases around the world, some people had seen the footage. Parts of Skybreaker, images of the explosion in orbit. One general said, "Whoever built that ship, they may be our only chance." The Architect's test begins. The Architect didn't attack Earth directly. Not yet. She wanted to test Rayan first. She moved silently toward the moon and released a small black crystal from her hand. It fell slowly, like a drop of ink into water. When it hit the lunar surface, it spread, growing into a machine hive, eating the rocks, forming towers and weapons. It took 15 minutes to turn a section of the moon into a war station. Then she sent the message, "Rayan Cade, come and stop me." Rayan makes a decision. Rayan saw the energy spike from the moon. "She's challenging me," he said. The AI spoke. "It is a trap." "I know," Rayan said. "But if I don't go, she'll hit Earth next." He stared at the small photo. On the console, his parents, gone. His planet, still unaware. "Plot a course, we fight now." The flight to the moon's Skybreaker moved like lightning through space. Rayan sat calmly, checking every system. This wasn't a battle between ships. It was a battle of minds, of ideas, of who would stand last. As they neared the moon, the AI gave a final warning. "Her structure is changing space around her. If we lose control, we may never come back." Rayan tightened his gloves. "Then we don't lose." The battle begins. Skybreaker arrived over the moon's surface. It hovered above a black pit filled with machines that looked like moving statues, silent, glowing red, staring upward. Then she appeared, the Architect. She floated above her hive like a queen. She said nothing. She only raised one hand. Hundreds of missiles flew toward Skybreaker. But they weren't normal. They were alive, twisting, learning. Rayan shouted, "Activate adaptive shield!" Blue energy pulsed around the Skybreaker. Missiles hit, but the ship flexed and curved, dodging like it had a mind of its own. Rayan rolled the ship, dodging wave after wave. Rayan strikes back. He opened fire. Skybreaker's plasma cannons lit up. The moon, tearing through towers and weapon nests. Giant blasts cracked the surface. Black machines melted, but the Architect didn't stop. She sent a wave of nanobots into the ship's path. Tiny machines meant to eat through anything, Ryan reacted fast. Burn them! He activated the stellar flame, a secret weapon hidden in Skybreaker's base. A ring of white fire circled the ship, burning every nanobot instantly. The architect paused. For the first time. She was impressed. The mind attack. She changed tactics. From inside her black hive, she launched a psychic pulse, not at the ship, but at Ryan's mind. Suddenly, he couldn't breathe. He saw visions, Earth on fire, his mother's face crying, Skybreaker falling apart, himself, alone in the dark. The AI shouted, "Ryan, fight her! Disconnect mental link!" But Ryan didn't. He pushed back. He focused. He thought of his father teaching him engines, his mother reading him books about stars. He remembered why he built Skybreaker. "You won't break me!" he screamed. A wave of light exploded from his body. The architect stumbled backward in shock. Ryan reveals the core. Ryan stood at the ship's heart, the star core, glowing stronger than ever. His hands touched it. He whispered, "It's time." The Tuas AI said, "Warning! Using full core power may collapse your body." "Then I'll burn with it," he replied. Skybreaker's engines turned gold, its weapons charged with a sound like thunder. Light poured from the ship like a new sun. Ryan shouted, "Fire!" The beam hit the architect's hive. It shattered. She screamed, not from pain, but from surprise. She hadn't expected him to grow this fast. The architect falls. For now, her body flickered. Her machines collapsed. The moon's hive broke apart. She looked at Ryan one last time. "Interesting," she whispered. "You are more." Then she vanished, teleported away, not dead, just retreating. Aftermath. Ryan collapsed onto the bridge floor, heart pounding, his vision blurry. The AI whispered, "You survived her." "For now," Ryan said weakly. He looked at the moon below, burned, silent again. But he knew. This was just the first fight. The real war had only just begun. The stars above Earth were no longer safe. In the quiet blackness between solar systems, something awoke. Something old, something silent, something with no name in any Earth language. They did not fly. They did not glow. They did not talk. They collected machines, weapons, ships, planets, sometimes entire civilizations, and now they had a new target, Ryan Cade, the Skybreaker, Earth. They moved like shadows, and the universe shivered. Ryan recovers back on Skybreaker. Ryan sat in the healing pod. His body was weak after the battle with the architect. His mind still echoed with memories she had tried to break. The AI spoke gently. "Vitals stable." "You need rest, Ryan." "I can't rest," he replied. "Something worse is coming. I can feel it." His hands trembled, not from fear, but from knowing too much. A message from the stars beacon activated in the Skybreaker's deep sensor array. A message had arrived. Old, dusty, cracked. It was over 12,000 years old. The AI decrypted it. The words played softly. "If you are hearing this, run. The collectors have found you." Ryan's eyes narrowed. "Who were they?" The AI paused. "They were the end of the first star age. They do not conquer. They erase." Ryan stood slowly. "Then we don't run. Earth begins to notice." Strange signals were picked up by Earth's telescopes, not ships, not stars, just black shapes moving slowly across space, blocking light, warping gravity. Scientists panicked. One satellite went missing. Then another. A space station in Earth's orbit went completely silent. One final message came through. "There's something outside. We don't know what it is. It's not a ship. It's just watching." Then silence. Ryan investigates the silence. Ryan flew Skybreaker close to the last known location of the missing station. Only pieces remained, floating metal and frozen bodies. But one thing was strange. There were no burn marks, no blast holes, no weapons used. It was like the station had been taken apart and studied. The AI scanned the area. Residual energy detected. Collector trace confirmed. Ryan whispered, "They're already here. The first encounter A's." Ryan returned to Earth's orbit. A shadow passed near Skybreaker. It was cold, silent, massive. Ryan's screen blinked. Unidentified object detected, not reflecting light, no energy signature. Suddenly, the object moved. A thin black beam touched Skybreaker's shield, not to attack, but to scan. "It's studying us," the AI said. "No emotion, no purpose, just gathering." Ryan stared at the strange structure. It looked like a swarm of mirrors shaped into a long, twisting body. It had no engines, no bridge, no eyes. "They're not here to talk," Ryan said. "They're here to take." Skybreaker strikes. First, Ryan launched a test shot. Light plasma burst, low power. The beam hit the collector and disappeared into it. No effect. Then the collector moved. A section of its body opened like flower petals, and a gravity wave pushed. Skybreaker backward nearly 40 kilometers. Ryan hit the controls fast. "Shields!" Skybreaker stabilized. "We can't hit it with standard weapons," Ryan said. "We need something different." The hidden file Skybreaker's AI unlocked a file stored deep in its code, one even Ryan hadn't accessed yet. Emergency Protocol Echo Light. The AI explained, "This weapon wasn't designed by humans. It was given this by another race, one who once survived the collectors. Once." Ryan activated it. A golden ring formed around the Skybreaker's main core. Echo Light. Online. He targeted the collector. Fire. The beam of light made no sound, but where it touched the collector, the metal twisted, changed, and then melted into stardust. The collector screamed without sound, folding in on itself, and vanished. One down. Thousands still out there. A message from the architect after the battle. A strange signal appeared inside Skybreaker. A recorded voice. Her voice. "You faced them. You survived. You are the first." It was the architect. "The collectors will not stop. You must find the forge core. Only then can you end them." Ryan looked at the map. A blinking mark pointed far from Earth into deep space. So, this is just the beginning. Earth must choose. Ryan sent a secret message to a few leaders on Earth. "You are not alone, but you must unite. If you fight each other, you won't survive what's coming." Some believed him, others didn't. But one leader said, "If this Skybreaker boy is real, we must protect him at any cost." Far beyond Earth, in the ruins of a shattered star system, something stirred. It was not a planet. It was not alive. But it beat like a heart, pulsing with ancient energy. This was the forge core. Once it powered an empire. Now it slept inside broken stone, hidden by dust and time. But now, it was calling out, not to aliens, not to machines, to a human boy, to Ryan Cade. Ryan follows the signal inside the Skybreaker. Ryan sat on the command deck. His fingers hovered over the star chart. A new coordinate glowed red. It hadn't been there yesterday. "The architect's message," he whispered. "She left it for me." The AI confirmed. "This location matches a dead system in the Narrated belt. All signs point to the forge core being there." "Then that's where we're going," Ryan said. "Set course. Prepare for deep space jump." "Warning," the AI replied. "That region is unstable. Time and gravity behave strangely." Ryan stared at the stars ahead. "So do I." Preparing for the jump, the Skybreaker hummed as its hypercore powered up. Inside the ship, Ryan checked systems. Shields, full weapons, online AI, active echo, light, recharged defense drones. Loaded, Ryan took one last look at Earth. He knew this might be his last visit, For a long time. "You've got one Guardian left," he whispered. The jump began. Space bent, light twisted, and the skybreaker vanished into the void. Arriving at the dead system, when the ship reappeared, everything was silent. No suns, no planets, just broken rock, floating slowly through space like ghosts. But at the center was a massive object. Part machine, part asteroid. It pulsed with green-blue light. "That's it," Rayan whispered. "The Forge core." The AI scanned it. Reading unstable energy. Warning, time compression detected. Minutes here may feel like hours or days. "Can we get closer?" "We can try." The Forge's Guardian wakes as Skybreaker approached. The core pulsed again, and something inside moved. A shape unfolded from the darkness. At first it looked like a ship, then like a creature, then like both. The AI locked on. Unknown entity detected. Not Zyral, not Collector. "Friend or enemy?" Rayan asked. "It was made by the Forge, to guard itself." The Guardian turned slowly toward them and opened 10 glowing eyes. "The trial of the core." The AI spoke quickly. "I'm receiving a message." A voice filled the ship, not in sound, but in thought. "To claim the Forge, you must prove you are more than a weapon." Rayan stepped forward. "What do you want me to do?" "Not fight. Understand." The Skybreaker's systems went arc. The stars vanished, and suddenly Rayan was alone, floating in a space of light. Inside the mind trial, Rayan found himself standing in a copy of Earth. But different. Cities burned. Skybreaker was destroyed. He saw himself, broken and older. The Guardian's voice echoed, "This is one path. If you choose only strength, this is your future." Rayan shouted, "I'm not a destroyer." "Then, show us." He saw visions of other builders before him, alien children, thinkers, creators. All had tried, all had failed. "Why me?" he asked. "Because you built Skybreaker with both mind and heart. Then I won't fail." The core. Accepts back on the bridge, Rayan opened his eyes. The AI flickered to life. "All systems returning. The Forge core has unlocked its gate." Ahead, the ancient Guardian moved aside. A pathway formed, a beam of light pulling them toward the core's heart. Entering the core, Skybreaker descended into the glowing core. Inside was not just a machine, it was a library, a factory, a brain. It held designs for thousands of technologies, engines, weapons, cities, even planets. Rayan walked into the central chamber. In the middle, floating gently, was a glowing cube, the Forge seed. The AI whispered, "With this, Skybreaker can evolve beyond anything Earth has ever known." Rayan reached out. His fingers touched the cube, and the Skybreaker changed. The upgrade. Begins panels moved. Engines grew. New weapons appeared along the wings. Shields doubled in strength. Second AI core activated. Rayan watched in awe. "We're not a ship anymore," he said. "We're a force." But they're not alone. Suddenly, alarms screamed. Multiple signals incoming. Not Zyrel, not Collectors. "Who?" Rayan asked. The screen showed strange ships, long, sharp, glowing with red veins. The AI scanned them. "We don't know what they are." Rayan narrowed his eyes. "Then let's find out." Darkness spread across a nearby star system. It didn't come from clouds. It didn't come from weapons. It came from the Collectors, hundreds of them, moving like a storm, silent, unstoppable, erasing everything in their path. Planets, moons, light, gone, and, at the edge of that void, Earth waited, still unaware that Phase 2 had begun. Rayan upgrades the Skybreaker inside the glowing Forge core. Rayan Cade stood on Skybreaker's command bridge. The ancient cube, the Forge seed, was now part of the ship's heart. The AI reported all systems stable. Skybreaker now running at 220% capacity. Show me what's new, Rayan said. Screens flashed. Quantum shields pulse warp engine void, weapon system core, intelligence split, AI-2 activated. A second voice spoke beside the main AI. Hello, Rayan. I'm Echo. Rayan smiled. Now, we're a team of 3. But he didn't have time to celebrate. Unknown. Ships move. In the red-veined ships spotted earlier were now closer, hovering in space just outside the forge's gravity well. The AI scanned them. No language, no signal, but they appear to be watching. Rayan activated stealth mode and observed. Suddenly, the lead ship opened, revealing a creature inside. Not machine, not alien, but something else. A collector-turned-forge hybrid. Rayan's voice dropped. They've been trying to copy the forge. And they're almost succeeding, said Echo. The hybrid attack. Begins without warning, the hybrid ships charged. They didn't fire traditional weapons. Instead, they launched metallic organisms, living weapons that attached to hulls and tried to take control. One latched onto Skybreaker. Infection detected, Echo warned. Remove it, Rayan ordered. Skybreaker responded with a pulse wave, blasting the parasite into space, but more were coming. They're not trying to destroy us, the AI said. They're trying to absorb us. Inside the parasite, Rayan ordered a drone into the body of one fallen creature. Inside, he saw human technology. Scraps of old satellites, pieces of collector memory, and forged data from Earth. They've been watching us for longer than we knew, Rayan whispered. They've been learning. Escape from the forge core, Rayan knew it was time to leave. He didn't want to bring war to this sacred place. AI, plot a course back to Earth. Silent mode. Confirmed. Engaging warp field. As Skybreaker lifted from the forge core, the hybrids followed. Brace for warp in 3, 2, 1. The stars bent. The ship vanished. But so did 2 of the hybrids. They're following us, Echo warned. Rayan's face darkened. Then let's give them something to follow. Back on Earth was no longer quiet. Reports had begun to leak. Satellites vanishing. Strange objects near the moon cities losing power for seconds, just seconds, but too often world governments called emergency meetings. But most were still blind. One leader, General Haroon from Eurasia, stood and said, "The Skybreaker warned us, and we didn't listen." Skybreaker returns to orbit. Rayan re-entered Earth's orbit, cloaked. But something felt wrong. The AI reported, "One of the hybrids made it through. It's already here, hiding." "Where?" Rayan asked. "Underground, near humans." Rayan's stomach turned. "It's studying them. Or preparing to take one," Echo added. The hybrid appears in a small city in South Asia. Power flickered. Streets went dark. A metal spider-like creature rose from beneath the ground. Silent, tall. Its red core blinked. Children screamed. Police fired. Nothing worked. Rayan arrived in Skybreaker above the city. "AI, drop stealth. Lock target." A blue light surrounded the hybrid. Rayan spoke into the mic. "You're not welcome here." He fired. The hybrid exploded, clean, bright, and without a sound. But the damage was done. Humans had seen the enemy now, with their own eyes. A message from the collectors back aboard Skybreaker, a message arrived, not through space, but through time. It played inside Rayan's head. "You found the forge. You made yourself powerful. But power attracts echoes. Phase 2 is not war. It is absorption. We are already inside your world." Rayan gasped. He looked at the systems. "Are they inside Skybreaker?" "Not yet," the AI replied. "But Earth, yes. Rayan's choice. Rayan knew what had to be done. We fight back, not just with weapons, but with knowledge, with warning. He sent a coded message to every global leader. This is no longer a secret war. They are here. They are many. Prepare your people. Protect your minds. The stars above Earth began to vanish, not from nightfall, not from storms, but from shadows, thousands of them, moving toward the planet like a black ocean. Each one was a collector ship. Each one carried the memory of destroyed worlds. Each one wanted Earth, and in the center of this darkness stood Skybreaker. One ship, one boy, one last hope. They've come, Rayan whispered, for all of us. Earth's last stand governments had finally listened. Cities were being evacuated. Defenses were activated. Old enemies had become allies. Rayan had united Earth without force, through truth. But the leaders still asked, what can one ship do against thousands? Rayan answered, more than you think, Skybreaker revealed. Rayan flew Skybreaker into full view of the world. Every screen, every satellite, every radar saw it for the first time. The ship wasn't just metal anymore. It glowed, alive with energy. From the forge core. Children pointed. Soldiers stared. Scientists wept. That's our ship? One pilot whispered. That's our future, said General Haroon. The battle begins. The first collector wave hit Earth's orbit. Skybreaker moved fast, dodging beams, shooting back with echo light, slicing through enemy ships with clean blue fire. But there were too many. Rayan, they're surrounding us, Echo warned. Then let's break the circle, Rayan said. He opened the Star Pulse drive, a secret weapon hidden in Skybreaker's core. With a silent flash, a pulse exploded outward, not destroying, but disabling every enemy within 200 kilometers. Ships froze. Lights dimmed. Earth had room to breathe. The ground wore, but the collectors had already landed. Their metal creatures poured into cities, crawling, drilling, absorbing everything. Rayan saw it all from above. We need help down there, he said. Suddenly, Earth's own armies, now united, launched their strike. Jets, tanks, drones, fighters from every nation, even civilians joined in. They had seen Skybreaker. They had seen hope. Now they fought together. Humanity had awakened. The architect returns amid the chaos. A new signal appeared. She had returned. The architect, rebuilt, stronger, no longer just Zirel, but something more. She stood in the ruins of a mountain, watching the sky. You've grown, Rayan, she said through the comms. But the forge was never meant for humans, Rayan responded calmly. Neither were chains, but we broke those too. Then come, let's finish this. One-on-one. Final duel. Rayan landed Skybreaker in a broken desert. The architect waited. They fought, not with ships, but hand to hand. Her strength was godlike. But Rayan had one thing she didn't: purpose. He used his AI-powered suit, dodged her plasma strikes, and channeled energy from the ground. He didn't overpower her. He outthought her. At the final moment, he attached a forge breaker module to her chest. Goodbye, he whispered. She exploded in a blinding light, gone forever. Skybreaker's final move back in the sky, the collectors regrouped. Rayan climbed into the Skybreaker, covered in dust and blood. One last thing, he said. He aimed Skybreaker at the collector core ship, the brain behind the entire swarm. AI, give me all power, everything we've got. You won't survive the blast, Echo said. Maybe not, but they won't survive either. Rayan smiled. Just a little, for Earth. He charged the final Echo core, but Earth answers back suddenly. Another signal came through. Not from Skybreaker, from Earth's own satellites, from jets, from human-made warships in low orbit. They had used Rayan's data. They had copied his tech. "You're not alone, kid," General Haroon said. Together they fired as one. A beam of combined human energy struck the Collector Core ship. It cracked, it fell, and then the swarm collapsed. Aftermath. The sky cleared. The stars returned. Across Earth, people looked up, not in fear, but in wonder. Rayan stood on the edge of Skybreaker's landing ramp. For the first time, he smiled without fear. "We did it," Echo responded. "Together."